Hi guys, Tom McGrath here. In a previous video on measuring your spear for Pekiti-Tirsia training, I mentioned the total length of the shaft should measure to your height, and then the spear head itself measures about the same as the length of your hand. Today I want to talk to you about measuring the spike end and how to demarcate that so it does not become, if you did have a real spike on a spear, it would not become a danger to you during training. Thank you. Okay guys, so what I found was you can get no farther than half the distance between the crease of your wrist and the crease of your elbow for a safety zone for your spike. No longer than that, and most traditional spikes are actually shorter, but you may have a socket involved. And what I found with my big hands, if I make a fist with a thumb in that angle, then that gives me about half. But you can just simply take a ruler, measure from your wrist to the crease, cut that in half, and that's the distance you want to get. So you'll take a piece of brightly colored duct tape, wrap it around to that height, get yourself a bit more than a full circumference at the end, and then twist it around so it makes a little rope. And then you take that and you wrap that rope around the end and just secure that. You can also tie a piece of duct tape in there and then cover it, not duct tape, if you can wrap a piece of paracord in there and then tie a knot and wrap it with duct tape. What the Filipinos would use is actually take the skin of a rattan off of a rattan they're not going to use and tie a knot with that, and you can actually cover the whole end with pretty strong cordage with that rattan skin. And they'll take a little slice out of it, maybe 1/8 of an inch, and then wrap that around. So you want some type of demarcation where your hand is going to stop and feel where the end of that is, so your hand doesn't run up on the spike. And more importantly, you don't stop your hand farther and get that spike too long. I'll show you why that's a danger in a moment. So while you're thrusting with the spear and even moving it back and forth like this, you can get a fair distance from the end here and still be relatively safe. See, let's make it more than twice the distance of what I marked as a spike, and just in thrusting like this, I'm not likely to get that spike in my belly. However, when I'm hitting multiple opponents and that, aiming for their knees and keep them away from me, and that spike is traveling across in front of my belly, you don't want that spike to get too close. So that's why I have that demarcation of a bulge in the tape here, which is enough for, there's no actual spike there. When there's some techniques in the second set where you're faking a throw and then come in and do a strike with the spike end, and then, a point thrust, with that spike, which is not as good as the head, but it, can slow the guy down in the thigh or the eye or whatnot. But you're striking very deliberately in a way that the spear head is next to you. It's not coming towards your body. If I were to try and swing for the legs in this low horizontal swing, can you see that head is very close to my belly? So we're trying to prevent that by having that marker that's about, one hand wide or half the distance between the crease of the wrist and the crease of the elbow. So you can swing this and you're not likely to have that spike rip your belly open. You want a little bit of a standoff there. So that's how you mark the spike end of your spear for Pekiti-Tirsia training. Okay guys, so let's take a quick look at how I came up with that measurement of having the spike measurement no longer than half the difference between the distance between the crease of the wrist and the crease of your elbow. If you have your blade end, and your blade's about 1 hand length, when you're striking or thrusting with the spike end, you're in little danger of getting caught by your spearhead, except for you have to be careful of these low swings back and forth, say you're going for someone's multiple opponents, you're going for their knees, right? Or even one opponent, you're going for the knees. When you swing in front of you, your elbows are going to be more bent and your hands are closer to your abdomen than you would be on a long thrust or on a diagonal strike where the blade of the spearhead is going next to you. It's not pointing right at your body on the movement, right? So that's why in the set you see that those low swings are done only with the spike end towards you, never with the head towards your body. So just playing around with length on this, I discovered that you can probably get away with half the distance of your forearm here, but no more than that to give you some safety measure here, right? Because the elbow is going to be bent. It's a different motion than a diagonal cut or a long thrust, right? So that's how we came up with that, or I came up with that distance of half your forearm length to keep your spike head. And a lot of traditional spike heads will be even shorter than that. What you're really preventing is if you don't have any demarcation here, any ring of some type, then what you're doing is you tend to overcompensate and stop short because you don't have a feel, you don't have a tactile indicator of where that spike is, and you might stop prematurely way up here, and then if you were trying to do a swing, you might have the spike in your belly. However, if you go and you do a thrust and you say, okay, now I'm going to go and make that knee cut, because I have my hands stopped at a tactile thing, I can feel at that ring, I can feel, my visual attention is going to be on the bad guys, right? Then I know, okay, I can safely make that swing and not, cut my belly or rip my belly, or, let's say the spike is not real sharp. At the very least, hitting your belly is going to impede your movement, slow you down, and you won't get a good hit on the bad guys, and they overwhelm you, they charge you, right? So something to think about of the measurement when you tape your sticks, your trainers, which is for trans shaft, for Pekiti-Tirsia spear training. Thank you.